On today's episode of Titus and Tate, we just got done watching Texas and Creighton play, and spoiler alert, Creighton was not making shots for almost this entire game until Baylor Shireman got hot much too late.
Yeah, there was something going on in Moody. I don't know if it's about the rims. We'll talk about it. But Creighton has never shot that bad, and Baylor Shireman specifically has never had a game like that.
Are you ready to declare a Moody mystery on the show?
Yes.
The new Moody, was it the Moody Center, Moody Arena?
I think it's the center. Because they have so many activities in there. McConaughey planned it all.
This new Moody Center that Texas has is the belle of the college basketball ball. Every time
Everybody loves
that
it.
Texas hosts a game, people go nuts talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been, so I'm not going to, say one way or the other how I feel about it, but it feels like everybody's talking about this thing. And I got to say, what I saw tonight, loosen your rims is what I would say.
Yeah, because we want to watch good basketball games. We want people to make shots.
Yeah. But Texas gets the big win. Is it enough to make them the number one team in the country? I don't know. We'll see.
That's what Texas fans are saying.
We'll see. They got
ones in Moody.
They got Illinois coming up in Madison Square Garden. Going to be a good one. We're going to talk about that. Don't let the ACC Big Ten Challenge that we've been so excited about this week overshadow this Big 12 Big East battle that we saw tonight. Marquette put a whooping on Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let everything else distract from that, because Marquette handed Baylor their ass.
Shaka Smart. He's back again.
We're going to talk about that a little bit. Also, was Virginia's win at Michigan, would you describe it as more gritty or gutsy? I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
You have time to think about it.
And Michigan, another Michigan man struck someone. So it's becoming a theme.
Juwan Howard's program. Yeah, that's the
you follow your coach.
That was a foul on Virginia, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course.
They called the foul.
Of course it was. Look at the tape.
Notre Dame back, or does Michigan State suck? I don't know. We'll talk about that. We'll try to figure out that.
That might take the whole show to try to decipher that one.
But most importantly, it is Fraud Friday. We got a double dose this week, folks. I don't do this often, but I was feeling a little frisky this Friday.
There are so many frauds out there.
There's so many out there. We're doing a double dose. We are doing a top 10 this week. There are 10 entities on the fraud power rankings this week. So without further ado, we have a lot to get to. A 10-tiered Fraud Friday is a big Fraud Friday. So let's just get right to it. But first,
Woody Durham.
all right, out of the gate, let's talk about this Texas Creighton game we just saw. Texas was kind of in control the whole game. Texas's defense. I'm going to say this, Tate, because I'm going to focus on Creighton missing shots at some point in this discussion, and I don't want people to take it the wrong way that I'm taking anything away from Texas. Texas might have the best defense in the country. Chris Beard, his resume speaks for itself as a defensive coach. I'm very much buying the hype in Texas, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, Marcus Carr has terrorized my teams through the years. I've seen this man rip my heart out a million times.
Yeah.
But still, there's something about like the in-game situations with Tech. Like, I don't know. I gotta see more. I gotta see like.
I wish Hunter had the ball at the end of the game. But
but
it seemed to be the Marcus Carr show, and that is something that we can talk about.
So I don't want to take away from Texas because they earned the W, and I'm not trying to I'm not trying to rain on the parade here, but my God, Creighton was what, 4 for 26 from the 3-point line?
I mean, Texas was 4 for 19. Both teams could not buy a shot.
But it was more shocking to me because Creighton came into the game shooting 38%. And
I mean, Shireman shot 46% last year. I mean, obviously he wasn't at Creighton, but I mean, for the season. So this is what he does.
Could not buy a bucket. It was, I mean, because Texas has not been a great 3-point shooting team this year. I don't think. I'm trying to remember. I guess I could look it up, but I don't think they're particularly great. So that one didn't stand out to me as much. Texas has been winning on defense, and then Marcus Carr and Tyrese Hunter and just overwhelming people with their talent. Creighton, from what we saw in Maui, like this seems to be I mean, Creighton historically, that is the bread and butter of their offense, is they shoot threes.
Yeah,
this is how they.
That's why
they
Mike Miller's son wanted to go there. He's like, I want to shoot threes.
And we saw him in Maui, and that was like that's how So the idea of a Creighton team. What, did they start 1 for 22? Was it?
Yeah, it was horrible.
Oh,
I mean, it was at the point where you and I were saying the fix is in. I mean, or maybe I was just yelling that because I'm like, what is going on at Moody? I mean, it looks like
you're just yelling the fix is in, and I'm like, what's the fix? And you're like, I don't know, I haven't figured that out yet.
I'm working on that.
I don't know what that is. I just know the fix is in.
I am trying to put it together, but I didn't think that they could shoot this poorly.
Yeah.
And in this building, I think it's an advantage to Texas that teams shoot poorly in the building, right? That is the Moody magic.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is deep down.
I think so. So what do we take away from this game? Because like I feel a little underwhelmed, honestly. Like it was a close game. I don't think it was a bad game per se. Like I was entertained, especially out of the gate. It felt like it was going to be a shootout there for a second. But I come away a little underwhelmed. Like I don't know. Like Texas to me only winning by 5 when Creighton could make a shot. Like if I'm Creighton, I'm almost feeling better moving forward because you're like we just went to the #2 team in the country. We will never have a night shooting the ball as poorly as we did tonight. And again, you could say it's Texas's defense. I watched the game. Creighton had wide open shots.
Wide open shots.
That they were bricking. Granted, not every shot was wide open. I don't mean to say that Texas wasn't playing good defense, but a handful of those when Baylor Shireman's wide open and he's bricking them. I mean, you're lucky. There's no other way to put it, Texas, but you're lucky that a knockdown shooter is bricking shots. So if I'm Creighton, I come away from this, I'm like, whatever, burn the tape, flush it. We're first game back from Maui. We're jet lagged. We're whatever. You find your excuse. You say it's a moral victory that we hung around. We covered the spread. We'll be fine. If we play them, if I'm a Creighton fan and I think about March, if we run up against Texas, and if the bracket comes out and Creighton and Texas are in the same bracket, I'm not worried at all.
Yeah. I think we have a revenge game there, and I think this is kind of a backhanded compliment. I think that Creighton obviously has the best starting 5 in the country.
Yeah,
but on the flip side of that, no one scored on their bench tonight. So you come into this game and you ask what a big takeaway is. My big takeaway is that Creighton has the best starting 5 in the country, and they still have no bench.
Yeah,
and if they're gonna be a title contending Final Four level team. Whether it is Mike Miller's son Mason that steps up and becomes that, they need Farabello. They need someone on that bench. King.
It's probably going to be either one of those guys. Like King's not really an offensive.
Yeah, but someone has to.
It's going to be Farabello.
At least be
Miller
a threat. Miller hit some threes against Arizona. He spread the floor a little bit, showed some signs. But somebody for Creighton off that bench has to add a little bit of firepower so that when Baylor is 0 for 9 from 3, maybe there's someone else helping carry.
I guess maybe that's my issue with this game for Creighton tonight is Miller and Farabello come in and shoot 3. They go 0 for 3 combined from 3, and that's like if I'm Greg McDermott, I'm turning to those guys and I'm saying our starters, especially Shireman, are broke tonight.
Alexander not
great either, by the way, 0 for 8 from the field. So I turn to those guys and I'm like, you guys got to. You're no longer like spot up shooters. Like I need one of you to be a little more aggressive and try to generate some offense for us. And they shot. Farabello was 0 for 3 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. Miller shot 1 shot and missed, and then missed both of his free throws.
And bricked them.
So I'm not saying they had to also go 0 for 9 like Shireman started. But I would have liked to have seen like
that is a concern. That is my big takeaway. Like Texas, not to say that Texas has a ton of depth either, but when I look at these two teams and I look at Creighton, the one weakness is their depth.
I would have liked it. This is a game, to use like a football analogy, to throw when everyone's ice cold. You bring in a guy off the bench and you just throw something else on film. It's like a trick play almost, where all of a sudden you're running the offense through Miller or Farabello for just like a 2 or 3 minute stretch.
Kind of like Texas has Serge Jabari Rice. Serge Jabari Rice comes off the bench, a guy that knows how to play basketball, a guy who is a proven winner, and he gives some stability to the backcourt a little bit. Bishop comes in. He's a transfer from Creighton. He gives you some good minutes, right? Like Texas isn't that deep of a team, but they're really 8 deep.
But they trust their bench. They're not super deep, but it's like the guys that you're throwing in there, you're like you said, Jabari Rice has won. I mean, Frazier was talking about it during the broadcast. He's won a ton of games at New Mexico State. He's a guy that's been around the block, and he's a guy that you can trust. I'm with you. I like Creighton's bench. I don't know if I can trust Creighton's bench. And a night like tonight where they go over kind of proves why, right?
And maybe during the Big East season conference schedule, they get some games where, they're up big and they can play these guys a little bit more. They get a little bit of confidence. And by the time we get to March, you're saying, I actually really like some of the pieces off the bench for Creighton, right?
Yeah.
And I think they can develop there. But, tonight in this game on the road, you can't depend on those guys.
Texas has not played have they played one neutral game? They played Northern Arizona. That was where did they play that? They played that somewhere in Texas. I can't remember.
But they haven't played a true road game, right?
That's right. It was down in like southern Texas or something. But they haven't played a true road game. They barely played, and that was Northern Arizona that they played. So my mind's just going to like on the one hand, we're buying the hype. The Moody Center looks awesome.
Yeah.
The team the juice is flowing. There's a buzz around the program. On the other hand, I don't know, man. I'm kind of just waiting.
You're
for
going
this.
Graham Couch, Bill Titus.
I am, dude. I'm waiting to at least like give me a neutral game. Like at least like they're playing Illinois next Tuesday, in Madison Square Garden, a doubleheader with Duke and Iowa. At least that's going to give me something where it's like outside of this environment that was specifically built for this team. It's like the whole, like all the stars aligned for like this Texas team at this moment in time with Chris Beard and you know, the program is like coalesced into the Moody Center. And like, now we're just going to crush everybody that comes in here. Which is great, but that's not how it all works.
Yes, you will not be playing in the Moody Center when it comes to March.
So what I've seen so far, I do like, and I really do hate to be the guy that's raining on the parade, but
if you're Brad Underwood, you're praying that they get the #1 ranking. Like the AP voters get together this weekend, they don't call Graham Couch, they put Texas #1, and then if you're Illinois, you get to play a Texas team that is dealing with the expectations of being the #1 team in the country in Madison Square Garden, with an Illinois team that probably will have the best player on the court in TJ Shannon. That's a pretty good draw for Illinois. So if I'm an Illinois fan and I know someone that has an AP vote, I'm reaching out to them and saying the Longhorns should be the #1 team.
Yeah.
Calling into radio stations.
I guess like ultimately, I don't think Texas is overrated. I don't think Texas is. I don't think the hype is unwarranted. I just like as I was watching that game, I was like, if this is on any other court, if they're playing on any other court than that one, right now tonight, I think Creighton wins. That's what my eyes told me.
I think so.
Eye test, which is what I believe.
Yes, my favorite eye test.
I felt like Creighton, like I walk away from that game having more belief in Creighton than Texas long term. But Texas is like, again, I'm trying not to like really take anything away from Texas. It was just like, I mean, if your game plan going into a Creighton game is hope for them to go 1 for 22 from the 3-point line.
That is not a good game
plan. Good
luck.
luck.
Yeah, they are not the Houston Rockets with James Harden. And shout out to Jim's cousin, by the way. I don't know if they're actual cousins, but they are Cunninghams. Brock Cunningham, talking about the depth. I mean, Brock Cunningham at the end of this game, 2 free throws he needed to make.
He iced it, Jim.
Knocked
Do you take pride in that? To see other Cunningham? Is he the most
famous
Cunningham basketball player ever?
Probably,
Billy Cunningham.
Yeah. Just because he made those shots, yeah, sure, he's really
good. He is not better than Billy Cunningham. Jim.
Do you think he was pimping it a little too much? Like I saw him smile after he made it.
Like,
I felt a little much. Is that classic Cunningham to just you know, be happy and like, you know, I just felt like I was like act like you've been there before a little bit, you know?
Yeah, well, we're all rays of sunshine that bring the energy everywhere we go.
Checks out.
Anything else on this game? It was like I said, it was I don't think it was a bad game, but it was just kind of like
was McConaughey there?
That's
my last question. But there was at one point in the game, ESPN was like McConaughey's vision, like they did like a little special.
Yeah.
But it felt like they were gonna go to him and like set us up.
McConaughey's
what he's
vision
seeing.
was have every time anything good happens with Texas sports, have everybody talk about him.
Yes.
And then he shows up like once every 12 games.
All right.
Bangs the drum, and then everyone's like, "This guy is the whole reason our athletic department exists."
Yeah, we have all this money because of Matthew McConaughey. Thank you, Matthew McConaughey. That's really all I have left. I mean, I'm congratulations to Texas, but again, if I'm a Texas fan, I want Houston to stay #1, and I think for the good of college basketball, Houston is a stable #1. Let's just keep them there.
I think I agree. Yeah.
Just keep them there.
I wouldn't. If I was Texas, I'd be like, we're fine where we're at.
Even if I'm Chris Beard, I'm downplaying it
think...
after the game. If I'm Chris Beard, I go to the press conference. I'm like, hey, we're happy to get a win. Big win for our program. But at the end of the day, we did not play our best basketball tonight. Neither did Creighton.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of things to clean up.
I guess that's why I'm left underwhelmed, just because I feel like I didn't really learn anything about either team.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't feel like I saw either team's best shot. I didn't feel like it was just kind of, it was like a simulated game almost. And it's like you just press sim game, and then the stats popped up and said you went 4 for 26 from 3, and I was like, damn it, why did I? If I'm like a Creighton fan and I'm playing a season, you know, in my little video game, and then it says 4 for 26, and I'm like, damn it, why did I simulate that game? I should have played it. I could have shot.
And also Kalkbrenner, like at one point he was at least 8 for 8 from the field. So you and I were talking, we're like, just keep giving him the ball.
I don't
think at times he doesn't look like he wants the ball.
He doesn't want the ball.
Yeah.
He's got the look on his face that he's just like, damn it, I got to shoot this again.
Yeah.
He did that in Maui. That's why they lost the Maui Invitational.
Of course.
Because they drew the play up for him. He catches the ball.
Ballo's like, we're going to play you versus me. And he's like, no. That's actually, someone come over and guard this guy.
I do like when Creighton, their defense is just park Kalkbrenner in the paint and just have him swat everything away, and then let Shireman grab all the rebounds.
Yeah, it's very Brooke Lopez. I really like it.
But no, Texas. I apologies to Texas fans. I feel like I'm shitting all over your team right now, or not giving you the flowers. Is that what the kids still say? We moved on from that one.
I think him is dead. By the way,
him is dead.
I think the kids.
Caleb Love killed it.
I don't know who killed it. but it looks like the kids have moved on. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think Flowers is still there.
Flowers,
I think still works.
Yeah, apologies, but if I'm being completely honest, I'm waiting for Texas to play outside the state of Texas, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and beat Illinois on Tuesday,
and they probably will. But I just I'm waiting to see a little adversity. Everything's going too smoothly for Texas right now. Everything's too.
As a state,
it's
really.
too everything's just too smooth, and we just need a little adversity. I just need to see how this team handles a little adversity.
Just a tinge of adversity.
Hopefully, we'll see it on Tuesday. What else? Do we want to get in the fraud power rankings, or do you have thoughts on any of these other games?
I just wanted to quickly bring up that currently, as we're sitting here and we're recording, Arizona is getting worked by Utah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's happening. Utah, last time I checked, they're up 42-25 at halftime. So,
dude,
this was a trap game, and this
is a trap game for us to start this podcast after Creighton-Texas instead of paying attention to.
But reality, I just wanted to bring that up.
Oh, it's on Pac-12 Network. We couldn't watch it.
We couldn't watch it.
Yeah,
unless you have an LG refrigerator that you bought in the San Luis Obispo area, you would not be able to watch this Pac-12 Network game. So good news for all the Arizona fans. No one's watching. No one knows. Arizona is still my number one team in the country, regardless of this outcome, because they're coming off the Maui high. Dude, you have to give the Maui bump a bit of a break.
Dude, you literally said last night that Arizona was the best team in the country.
And I still believe that. This Utah game will not change that.
Who played well after Maui? Dude,
nobody. Maui. No one has played well after Maui. Again,
okay, how do we spin this? I need help spinning this.
Well, sometimes you need a vacation from your vacation.
That's not true. Cincinnati won by 26
against
their first game back. In JIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology.
Yeah, does not count.
But they won by 26.
Yeah, throw that game out.
Every other team, Texas Tech let Georgetown go on a late run and almost made a huge mistake in letting a terrible Georgetown team beat them. They ultimately won, but Texas Tech played uninspiring basketball. Their first game back from Maui. Arkansas, same deal with Troy.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't like I don't mean to oversell it, like it was super close and down to the wire, but there was a time I didn't watch the game, but I checked the score at one point in the second half, and I think it was tied or close to it. Arkansas did not seem to play well in their first game back from Maui. Ohio State lost it at Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Louisville got smoked at home, which is unusual.
Yeah, that definitely was Maui. That was 100% Maui ramifications.
Who else does that leave? Creighton we saw tonight.
Yeah.
Couldn't hit a thing.
Yeah.
And now Arizona's getting worked at Utah.
So I think it's just the travel. I mean, that's the only thing that I can point to.
How do we spin this as like it's not Maui's fault?
Well, because these games don't matter. It's December.
True, yeah.
I mean, no one cares. At the end of the day, no one cares, but also all these games matter for resume. And I've never been able to put those two things.
I think what it is, I think the stakes of Maui are so high that
there's a little bit of a letdown.
You're like, what are we playing for?
Yeah.
And Greg McDermott's like, guys, we're playing the number 2 team in the country. And all those guys are like, that's not Maui, though.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I'd rather play for.
And we just play the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, I heard Tate Frazier say this.
We just play the number 1 team.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, this is wild.
Doesn't feel the same.
Arizona, Jim, can you keep an eye on that for us?
Do you want it on the monitor?
No,
we don't need to put it on.
We don't need to put it on.
It's on Pac-12
I just
Network.
wanted to flag it. I just wanted to flag it for us before we get into the frauds, because maybe Arizona will be in there next time, but not now. Because Kirk Kriisa, it looks like he's shooting himself out of this game. And
Kirk Kriisa, no,
that
doesn't sound right.
There's something that says, that was inevitable coming off the Maui high. And Tommy Lloyd told us, he was like, these guys are young guys. We'll see how they deal with success. So far, not good.
Dude, first taste of road action.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Ask Baylor.
Yeah.
Both Shireman and the Baylor Bears.
Ask
all the Baylors.
Being a top 5 team is a curse so far this season. I mean, you were going to fall fast. Gonzaga, Carolina, Kentucky. I mean, these teams, Kansas, they're falling by the Arizona right now in trouble. I mean, these teams are falling by the wayside. So if I was Houston and Texas, I would be very concerned, because the target will come and it will be on your
But to
back.
that point, like Houston hasn't really had a huge game that we're circling. I mean, Virginia's coming up at Virginia. They do have Alabama at home.
I mean, there's an argument based on.
They got St. Mary's. No, they got St. Mary's on Saturday. But
St. Mary's just lost to New Mexico State.
That's right.
Yeah.
But Houston, that hasn't had like a marquee game yet. But going on the road and beating Oregon, beating a Power 5 team, it's not a guarantee. You know, like it's not. Like they won by 10. Oregon's not world beaters. I understand that, but like going on the road and beating Oregon in their home gym, as it turns out,
says something.
It says something. Yeah. Same with Indiana and Xavier. Like it's very. Purdue goes to Florida State and they struggle for most of that.
Dare I say this though? Based on what I've seen, Virginia should probably be number 1.
That's
all
true.
things considered.
You might be onto something
when you're looking at the resume. And granted, we talked about it already, but they get to play Houston to maybe prove that they're the number 1 team. So
if they beat Houston, they're going to be number 1.
It's a fact.
Yeah,
they're number 1.
Unless
Tony's on top.
Unless Texas beats Illinois, then they're number 1 also.
Yes.
Then we have 2 number 1s.
But based on high school rankings, we're used to having multiple number 1s. So
it's in the
zeitgeist.
We can handle that.
Yeah,
we can handle
and
that.
At the end of the day, who cares?
So do you want to get into the frauds?
Yeah,
we should just do that.
That's what I want to do.
All right, we'll do some frauds. Let's. I'm gonna
crack your knuckles.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about. I do want to talk about Virginia a little more, but we'll save that for the end. I think because that Virginia Michigan game was a good one, and it was gutsy and it was gritty and
and we flagged it as a trap game for Virginia. So shout out to them for surviving.
We'll circle back. We got to get to the fraud power rankings first. First of all, an announcement to start. I'm not talking about Red Panda anymore.
Okay.
It's sources confirmed that on Wednesday she dropped bowls. Mm-hmm. Okay. And we've been on Red Panda
as first reported on Titus Tate.
Yeah, I mean we knew it was happening, but like we've been on Red Panda Watch all season. Ever since she opened the season at Hinkle Fieldhouse. I was there for it. And it was a sad scene. I'm not gonna lie. It was a sad scene in Hinkle Fieldhouse. Put her on fraud alert. Ever since then, Tate, it's just been like a slow decline to where we have now reached a point. She's entered the Imani Bates territory for me, where it's like I can't even. It was kind of funny for a while, but like it's now just kind of sad, and now I'm almost rooting for you to get it back. So I'm not going to talk about Red Panda dropping bowls on Wednesday at Dayton. I'm not going to.
We don't kick people when they're down.
No. So. I know a lot of people were tweeting at me or reaching out, and they're like, "Are you going to talk about how she dropped bowls at Dayton on Wednesday?" Not going to do it.
I think you were putting a lot of heat on her, by the way. I think a lot of people were watching a little bit more intently than they used to.
I know, and I hate that.
Kind of reminds me of my North Carolina Tar Heels. You know what I mean? A lot of eyeballs on you. Expectations. I know. They hurt.
With great power comes great responsibility, Tate. And I feel like sometimes I look myself in the mirror after we do these shows, and I say, "Was I too hard on her?"
Yeah.
But I have a job to do, and I am going to ease off because it's no longer fraudulent. It's like she is who we know she is. Yeah. Give her space, let her figure it out.
If she was still on top of her game,
right?
You know, this is like going at Carmelo Anthony now and saying, "Why aren't you averaging 30 a game?"
Right?
Like he passed his prime.
Past your prime. So we're not talking about Red Panda, but we do have 10 frauds. This is the beefiest fraud power rankings ever.
I thought that was like, so that's an honorable mention fraud.
That's an honorable mention. That's not even one. I'm saying I'm not talking about her.
Okay.
At number 10 is Moody Magic.
Fair.
That we just talked about. The Moody Center. First of all, Matthew McConaughey designing it is not the flex you think it is. Mm-hmm. Like that is embarrassing to me. That is I when they cut to the chicken scratch on the napkin as though like he invented like Apple at a bar, you know, or like this is how Google was founded. Is we wrote it on a napkin.
The Facebook,
this is the Facebook. And it's Matthew McConaughey drew an oval and was like, put a ton of fans in there and have them be loud.
Yeah,
those are his notes. Yeah. And they gave this man credit. Like what is happening with Texas sports? It's not for me to say, I understand, but I'm the guy with the microphone, so I'm going to say it. Mm-hmm. It's getting out of control. We're giving Matthew McConaughey too much power. It's like every time, like Arch Manning commits to Texas, and everyone turns to Matthew McConaughey, and they're like, "Thank you, Matthew.
Yes,
thank you for this." And I'm just an outsider. I have no affiliation for Texas. I don't care if they're good, bad, or otherwise. But it's a little weird that Matthew McConaughey is like building this cult within.
Yeah.
What I thought was like the biggest athletic program in the country already.
No, I mean,
but somehow he gets all the credit for everything.
The Texas fans have jumped the shark because they're actually more movie fans than they are sports fans. They like Richard Linklater. They like Matthew McConaughey. And the only way that they can care about sports now is if one of those people tells them to. So that's the problem. Their sports fans are actually movie fans that have been converted back to sports fans. They are on the third phase of fandom. And they have gone too far. And like you said, Matthew McConaughey can't be responsible for everything. At the same time, it is cool that they have Matthew McConaughey as a movie fan. We like movies.
I do like film. I'm a fan of the cinematic arts.
That's the problem, though. They're not even sports fans anymore. They need Matthew McConaughey to make them like sports.
I just want to watch one Texas football or basketball game without like seeing a bunch of all right T-shirts.
Yeah.
All right.
But look, that's film.
Well, that's how it works.
Dazed and confused.
Also, beyond just the McConaughey part, the rims are garbage.
Yeah.
The early returns on these rims in the Moody Center, get them out. Figure them out. Get the Maui guy in. Whoever does the rims in Maui, give him a call. Send him to Austin. Have him tighten these or loosen these things up because these are the tightest rims I've ever seen.
Well, let's be honest. These rims, they're fresh. They're way too fresh. They need about 10,000 shots on them to get them to the level.
Malcolm Gladwell
said. About 10,000 shots to get them where we want them to be. And right now, we're not even close. And I think that they should have spent the whole offseason with McConaughey in the gym putting up shots.
No, that's a video I would watch.
Yes.
Matthew McConaughey putting up the 10,000 shots.
Every single day, he has to put up 500 shots.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's like I said, the Moody Center is the belle of college basketball. Everyone wants to talk about how great it is. What I saw tonight was an arena designed by an actor who takes his shirt off a bunch and who has the tightest rims ever. And for me, honestly, I would consider tearing it down and starting over. I would really think about it if I was Texas. Do we want to continue to have games where we have to muck it up to win? I don't think that's beautiful basketball. And I think at a certain point, the fans are going to tune out and they're going to stop coming.
But let's be honest. The guy who was in mud would love to muck it up.
He would love to muck it up.
So,
and I'm definitely not saying this just because I'm jealous Ohio State didn't do the exact same thing and tear down the Schottenstein Center and build a 10,000-seat arena. It's not that. It's not. It's not that, Tate. I promise.
I also love that Matthew McConaughey went to Cameron Indoor and was like, I like this idea.
That's what I was so confused by the drawing. I was like, he drew a gym.
He drew Cameron Indoor. He's like, why don't we put that small gym on our campus?
That's what we got to get into consulting or something, man. Because this is
the
same with like the coaching searches. Like you fire, someone gets fired and they need to figure out who to hire. Like, call me, Brad Stevens, Rick Pitino.
Yes, Rick Pitino. That literally would be like my sign off on my email. Yeah. It's like Bagman and then Rick Pitino.
We should start a coaching for
I am here. I am willing to be hired.
I'll help whoever.
Yeah.
And I'll help you design your gym.
I will take a job.
At number 9 on the fraud power rankings this week, an old familiar friend with you, Tate.
Oh, no.
Sister Jean.
Oh, love this. Good start to the fraud power rankings.
Are you aware that Loyola Chicago is 3-4? And one of those wins was in overtime to start the season against a terrible, awful, horrible Fairleigh Dickinson team. That this team almost lost to one of the worst teams in Division I and would have dropped them to they would be 2-5 right now. And as it stands, they're still just 3-4. They average 19 turnovers per game, 19.1, is third worst in the United States, in all of the United States, every level of basketball.
God,
I crunched the numbers.
Wow.
This is the worst team they've had by far, maybe not by far, but probably by far, since Sister Jean became a fan in 2018. And and I ask you, is Sister Jean, is she a wartime president, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we know in times of peace that she can get out in front of a camera and wave at the fans and be the cheerleader and the mascot.
Where is she now? Yeah, she's in her bunker.
What I would say. I just want to call attention to that. And I want to call attention to this Saturday, the DePaul Blue Demons will be traveling to Loyola Chicago to play. And there are whispers around Chicago. It's the Windy City. A lot of talking, a lot of people,
whispers spread in the wind. Yes.
Yep. A lot of rumors floating around. I'm hearing whispers out of Chicago that if DePaul wins this game, she might jump ship because she realizes there's another Catholic school on the north side of Chicago that I could. The transition is very seamless. Tate, you see what I'm saying?
LeBron James.
You just slide right. She makes an announcement. I'm going home.
The decision.
Yes. She doesn't even move. She just starts driving a little further north. Or is it south?
DePaul finally answers. How do we get Chicago recruits?
Yeah.
We get Sister Jean.
You get Sister Jean. There are whispers. DePaul is south of. Yeah. She drives south. Okay. Anyway,
she'll go anywhere.
So, number 9, something to keep an eye on this Saturday, DePaul Loyola for Sister Jean's Affections, because that's what my sources are telling me, that the bandwagon jumping might be imminent.
For all of our journalists out there, our capital J's, if there's anyone that is covering Loyola, I would like you in the post game to ask for Sister Jean's statement. On the season so far. Because like we ask her statements a lot when they're winning, and she gets to put out a lot of statements.
But
right about now is when we need her to actually stick her neck out and say, I don't like the turnovers, but I like her talent.
That's when you
give us something.
That's when you show your true character.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Don't be a Bruce Pearl about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Come out.
Character
face
counts.
the music. Character counts.
Sister
Come on.
At number 8 on the fraud power rankings, Peacocks. Just all Peacocks in general.
Whoa.
First of all, the St. Peter's Peacock. Peacocks were hot in college basketball, as we know in March. One
of my roommates in college, Bryce Peacock, he is also on this list. A lot of people taking straight.
I forgot about Bryce Peacock. You talked about him in March.
Yeah.
What a name.
It's
Bryce
great
Peacock.
Great name.
So yeah, the Peacocks were the hot story in March. Everyone found their peacock emoji on their phone so they could tweet about St. Peter's, and as we know what happened next, they lose to your North Carolina Tar Heels 1, but then the entire program implodes because everyone transfers, including the coach. St. Peter's is 4-2 right now, but they have no good wins. There's not even kind of good wins. So like it's a fraudulent 4-2. First of all, I want to bring that up. My bracketology has them. They're in the same group with North Carolina. It's like the next 4 out after the first 4 out, and then a bunch of other groups out. That's where St. Peter's is with the. Nice. I think it's somewhere in there. So St. Peter's is out, but then on top of that, I saw this today. Gonzaga and Baylor play on Friday. It is called the Peacock Classic. It's at the Pentagon in South Dakota. Tate. They're playing on Friday, only on Peacock. You have to subscribe to Peacock to watch Gonzaga and Baylor play. And then the wheels started turning, and I remember that the Big Ten's new media deal, where around these parts, we're Fox guys. So when the Big Ten turned their back on ESPN, we all started high-fiving around here, and we're like, this is sick, more games on Fox. But then I remember that Peacock was in that deal as well, and that starting next year, 32 games in the Big Ten are going to be on Peacock. 47 games in 2024 are going to be on Peacock. What is happening with it? Like St. Peter's goes on one run, and all of a sudden, like Peacock feels empowered to like step up and say, I'm going to take your Gonzaga Baylor game, and I'm going to take your Big Ten games. We have to put a stop to this.
Yeah, you should be worried about that because I'm not watching Peacock.
As for me and my family, we will simply not be subscribing. We will not.
Is Peacock Quibi? Like, are they the same thing?
We will not be doing it.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Not doing it.
Yeah.
They tried to get me during the Olympics to like check out Peacock.
I just didn't watch.
I'm not gonna watch.
I just didn't watch. I saw the highlights on Twitter. I'm not gonna lie about it. I was like, did we win or did we not?
I'm not watching.
I will not get Peacock.
It got me wondering though, is this a Gonzaga showing their hands? No, is this Gonzaga going independent though? Is this Peacock owned by NBC, Notre Dame football independent? You know what I mean? You following where
They're
I'm going
basketball.
Here? Are they going
Gonzaga.
with the Peacock and Gonzaga getting in bed together, and then Gonzaga breaks away from the WCC? Something to think about.
Do you think people are getting Peacock subscriptions because of Gonzaga basketball? That's the real question at a high level. Because I guess maybe so.
Maybe. I'm sure.
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah.
There's a lot of Gonzaga fans out there.
Maybe. Do you think Baylor fans are? You have Peacock?
Mm-hmm.
But you thought it was a porn subscription.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Donda.
The Donda to watch the Donda games.
And Monk.
Who pays for it? You?
I do.
Oh,
yep.
wow. Wow.
No way.
That's a huge upset.
No way. You stole that from some girl.
And George Lopez shows on there.
That is a good show.
Everybody Loves Raymond.
It's also a good show.
What's the George Lopez? Because hasn't George Lopez had like 8 shows and they're all named after him? And it's like the George Lopez.
They're like, it's kind of like Batman, you know, where it's like one word off. It's like The Batman or Batman Returns. George Lopez Returns.
Yep. It's like George Foreman's kids. All big name George. It's George Lopez's shows.
It really is.
Dude, speaking of, to bring it back to college basketball, you know Ricky Council, who we saw for Arkansas? He has 2 brothers that are also named Ricky Council, but they're Ricky Council II, Ricky Council III, and he's Ricky Council IV, and his dad's Ricky Council the first. Yeah. I learned that. He's from Durham, North Carolina. I had a lot of people very upset with me. I didn't know this. So I in that moment in time where we talked about George Foreman's kids, Ricky Council did the same thing.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's why he's the fourth?
That's why he's the fourth. His brothers, and they go by, I think, like second, third, fourth,
Wow.
The Ricky Council is inherent.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So there you go.
Number 7, fraud power rankings. Speaking of basketball families, at number 7 is Marcus Bagley.
Ooh.
Arizona State. Is he still in Arizona State? He's still,
Who knows?
As of now?
Follow him on Twitter and you'll find out.
Maybe those of you listening to this, he's already been kicked off the team. Who knows? Marcus Bagley is number 7 because he aired his dirty laundry on Twitter instead of doing what he should have done, which is send an email to Titus Tate
at gmail.com. No one would have known.
No one would have known.
And we would have shared it.
That's why I don't have a problem with what he did. I have a problem that he didn't email us.
Yeah.
That's the fraud behavior.
That's why we created this outlet.
Yes.
This is for you to send it to us and say sincerely Marcus.
So Sunday he tweets this. It's a notes app type deal. It's a he types it out, does a screenshot, tweets the picture. I usually don't address locker room situations to media, but for some reason people aren't being transparent. To my fans and friends, to my fans.
I need to start tweeting like that. To my fans, comma.
To my fans and friends that are concerned, the reason I'm not playing has nothing, in all caps, to do with basketball or my ability. After my last game I played versus NAU, out of frustration, I made a mistake and said some things to Coach Hurley that I shouldn't have said. Me not playing is 100% punishment for what I said that day. Again, I am 100% healthy, eager to play. So he tweets that out on Sunday. On Tuesday, a couple days later, this Tuesday, Tate, he quote tweets the original and he says, I was just suspended for this tweet for admitting I made a mistake. And he's basically saying, I don't understand. I aired some dirty laundry and I got in trouble for it. And I just thought I would air some more dirty laundry and tell you all what's going on. I don't know what the team rules are there. I don't know how it all works. I would, if I was in the Bagley family, I would advise him to maybe put
log
the phone
off.
Log off.
Yeah.
But also, if you don't want to log off, like maybe start packing your bags and let's get the hell out of Arizona.
I do like that as soon as he gets reprimanded for a tweet airing the dirty laundry, he's like,
his immediate thought is, I have to tweet through
this. I have to quote tweet this. And my goal is that he continues to tweet his way to suspension. Like every game is like there's another tweet about like why he gets suspended.
He just follows it up by saying,
it's like the greatest thread of all time. You're like, Marcus Bagley missed 26 games. He also had 27 tweets to explain it, and they're all incredible. And they're all someone else's fault for different reasons.
It just keeps going and going. I got suspended for this tweet. I got suspended for this.
And Bobby Hurley obviously follows him on Twitter. So you imagine Bobby Hurley like being at home just looking at his phone. He's like, did he just quote tweet his own tweet?
I will say the kid has promise though, because the original apology, quote unquote, was the type of apology we love on this show, where it's not an apology at all.
No, it's plausible deniability.
He said I made a mistake and said some things to Coach Hurley that I shouldn't have said. Me not playing is 100% punishment for what I said that day. Again, I'm 100% healthy, eager to play. And then he gets suspended and he's like, I was simply apologizing. At no point did he say I apologize for my behavior.
Yeah.
I said some regrettable things to Coach.
He basically said, like, I'm not getting held out because I'm injured. I'm getting held out because I said something to Coach Hurley, which I still stand by.
But also it's bullshit. I'm being suspended by this.
No, and people like the original reaction, like I saw it live in the moment. The original reaction was like, I'm proud of you, Marcus. Yeah. Like I'm proud of you for like owning your mistake. Because
people are morons.
Well, and let's be honest, like when you see the aesthetic of a notes app, you assume apology.
Yeah.
And like no one wants to read all that, but you see notes app, you think apology.
Damn, heartfelt.
Yeah, heartfelt.
That's
like thank you so much
dude,
for writing that
deep
out.
For that one.
Yeah. And really, you could write anything on there, and people would say, like, damn, dude.
Damn,
appreciate you. Appreciate you reflecting.
Thank you for the transparency.
Thank you.
That's brave of you.
Pray your hands. I mean, the Bagley family, can we just say this? Like, in a world of college basketball where we want characters are welcome. TBS.
Yeah, the
Bagley family delivers. I mean, they're one of my top families in the era of Teed Up, Titus and Tate, One Shining Podcast. They have delivered the goods. From the recruitment all the way up to Marcus Bagley's quote tweets. I mean, it has been a ride.
Andy Enfield offering the entire family scholarships.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Marvin Bagley, like tweeting through his Kings. Like, this is the family. Like, this is what they do. They turn to Twitter.
Also, not playing is in the family.
Yes.
Marcus Bagley has played 16 games in 3 years for Arizona State.
Wow. And to all of his fans that have seen the 16 games.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
I have a feeling we're not going to see game 17 anytime.
He's going to be at Texas next year.
I take full responsibility, but it's not my fault type apology. We love those. I can't get enough of those.
And it's not the kid's fault. We just had to. It's the role models. At the top. That's what happens at the top.
It is
plausible deniability.
It's not the kid's fault.
It's not Marcus Bagley's fault.
It's not.
Sorry for what he said to you, Coach Hurley. What do you think he said? No, we'll move on.
Again, I'm 100% healthy, eager to play. He followed it up. I left this part out. On Tuesday, he followed up another tweet that said, "Athletes, please, please, please make a well thought through decision where you go to school. These people will tell you anything to build you up just to tear you down." And then he deleted that one.
Marcus.
Log off,
buddy.
Or like I said, don't log off and just start packing your locker up. One of the two.
Yeah.
Either log off or start packing your locker up. But I don't think this is the route that's going to work out. This is not gonna help the marriage of Arizona State.
And knowing your coach, know your personnel.
Know your personnel. Read the scouting report on Bobby Hurley.
This is not going to work.
Number 6, fraud power rankings. The on your head celebration.
Yeah.
The tapping of the head. It might look like a shot clock violation type thing. It is not. For the younger kids that are listening, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you older folk. It's the shot clock type celebration when you dunk on somebody, Tate.
Yeah.
Liam Robbins, Minnesota transfer to Vanderbilt. I think this is his second year at Vandy, but has a big time dunk against VCU. Taps his head because that's what the kids do. It's what you either tap your head or you stay too small.
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
One of the two.
You have to do one of those. But the on your head celebration has officially been retired. It is officially fraudulent in the eyes of college basketball officials. He gets teed up for this, for taunting, I assume.
I didn't see this.
Really?
Is that why Stackhouse went crazy?
This is the Stackhouse crazy.
I just saw Stackhouse go crazy. I didn't see the
He gets teed
call.
up for this. Jerry Stackhouse, who understands what's cool and what's in, and understands the trends and all this sort of thing. He's trying to explain in a very violent tone to the referee.
I'll whoop your ass. That's what he's saying.
He was simply saying, "On your head, sir. On your head." He was saying, "On your head." The refs were like, "Yeah, Jerry, we know what he was saying.
Yeah.
We just teed him up." And Jerry was like, "Every guy does this. Have you watched any of these games? This is par for the course now." Stackhouse gets 2 techs. He gets tossed from the game. And this was not a trivial situation, Tate, because the game at the time, there's 8 minutes left. It's 54-51 VCU. VCU gets 6 free throws awarded because they get the tech on Robbins for the taunting. Then there's 2 techs on Stackhouse. So there's 6 free throws. They end up hitting 4 out of the 6. They go up 7. It's 58-51. Vandy still comes back to tie the game at some point down the stretch. But VCU wins by 5 in the end. It was a close game. VCU wins it because they get 6 free throws based off a guy tapping his head and then their coach going bananas. And I don't know. It's a terrible call. I hate that Vanderbilt got put in that situation. But also, I think this is officially marks the moment in time that the on your head celebration is played out. I think we've moved on as a basketball community to the goggles when you make a good assist. I think that's the in vogue celebration, right?
Yeah, I like the
drop
goggles.
A dime and you go with the goggles.
Yeah, everyone's doing the goggles too. Everyone's doing the goggles, and Shireman did a great goggles performance at Maui for us. I hate to hear this. I did not know that's why Jerry Stackhouse went crazy. But I will say, seeing Jerry Stackhouse go insane was great. I really loved it. He's doing it for his players.
Now, hold on. Are you Arkansas fans are listening? They're saying, "Are you a hypocrite?"
No, I'm not.
What's the difference between Muss going crazy and Jerry Stackhouse?
Well, one of them is doing it to protect his players. The other one is doing it to protect his pride. You know what I mean? These are 2 different things. And also, security guy that escorted Jerry Stackhouse. Get your hands off Jerry Stackhouse. Get your hands off my coach. Get your hands off of him. That's all I'm going to say.
I do like when guys are getting, just in general, not even basketball coaches, at a bar when you're getting tossed, whatever it is, you're behaving very irrationally. You're obviously angry. Everything about your body language says you're ready to throw hands.
Yeah.
So there's a guy that's holding you back. And
Hold
then
your
your attitude's like, "Get off of me, I'm fine."
Yeah, get off of me.
What would make you believe
I'm not going to do
that
anything.
I need to be held back?
I'm not going to do anything.
I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah. Jerry Stackhouse tried to shimmy and shake him. Yeah, I know.
Spin move.
I love to see it. I like to see the fire. I like to see the passion.
But I
like
think
the
this might
fire
be
and passion from us, except for when he's doing it.
No, there's a line.
Bad
Yeah.
intent.
I mean, we don't need to go back and revisit that. But
Arkansas
at the same
fans,
time,
I still like your team.
We never said we had a problem with Muss's fire. It's just there's a line, and he crossed it, and we just said, do better, and let's move on. You know, that's all.
I want to root for you. That's what we said.
Yeah. That's all. That's all it was.
Jerry Stackhouse.
And it wasn't even. And if we are going to revisit the Arkansas deal for Maui, it wasn't even our problem. Really, wasn't even the San Diego State game, because I've had a lot of Arkansas fans like saying the San Diego State. Our problem was the Creighton game more than the San Diego State game, if we're being completely honest. But whatever, we'll move past it. Number 5 on the fraud power rankings, Coach Cal. No, wait, I misread that. It says Cal Coach. I'm sorry, Cal Coach. Mark Fox. Sorry about that. Whew. I almost made a mistake.
I was gonna say, I think Cal
Not
should
Coach
be
Cal, the other Coach Cal.
I think Coach Cal should be higher.
Cal Coach. Sorry about that. Apologies to the Calipari family. Year 4 for Mark Fox at Cal.
Wow, that in and of itself is shocking.
Cal just became the first power conference team. I don't know if the stat is real. Doesn't matter. I saw it. I chose to believe it, and I'm repeating it to our listeners now, Tate.
Yep.
Cal became the first power conference team in 60 years to start 0-8 on a season. Now, Louisville might join them. Louisville will probably join them very soon. But the difference is, Tate, every time Louisville loses a game, I'm memeing Rick Pitino back home.
Yeah.
I'm putting out the
There's a plan.
Signal. We're talking about
There's a plan in place.
We're chatting it through how far the bottom has fallen out of Louisville basketball. We have to fix this. Let's fix this. Cal, meanwhile, I would venture to guess that the majority of our listeners have no idea how bad Cal basketball actually is, that they didn't realize that they were actually 0-8 and that it's going to get worse from here.
Yeah.
And at least Kenny Payne has the excuse of him, quote unquote, rebuilding, and it's year 1. And, for being honest, that excuse doesn't fly as much in the transfer portal era where you could just kind of reset your team every year, but it is an excuse, and it's his first year coaching. Give him time if you want, whatever. This is year 4 for Mark Fox. This is his program definitively.
Mm-hmm.
They are terrible. They lost one game by 2 points. They lost one game by 4 points. Every other game hasn't really been close. So even Louisville has had the thing of we're just unlucky at the end. If the ball bounces differently, those first 3 games, we start 3-0. It's a different conversation. Now we're on the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're on the bubble. Maybe we steal a win in Maui because we got some confidence. Who knows? Who knows what might have happened?
Yeah.
Cal, meanwhile, it's like a complete mess. It's an out and out mess. And I just wanted to draw attention to that because I don't know. It's
Cal's so bad that most people would think King Jones is still the coach. You know what I mean? That's how, and the fact that we're in year 4 of Mark Fox, and I hate to say it because I did like one Georgia team with Trey Tompkins and Travis Leslie, with Mark Fox. But how many years can this guy ride the coattails of one team that I don't even think they made the Sweet 16? They maybe made the second round, but Travis Leslie and Trey Tompkins were good. That team was good for Georgia. But since then, Mark Fox, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And then to be a Cal, I think if you're a Cal fan, the one thing you could have hung your hat on for the past however many years was, hey, Jason Kidd got Dallas to the conference finals. Jaylen Brown, he went to the finals. And now look at it right now, presently. Wolf on both of those.
Wolf on both of those. Yeah.
So
Wolf on both of those.
What
Make
is
that t-shirt?
Yeah, Wolf. I mean, what are we hanging our hat on now if you're Cal? I think if anything, you're just waiting out.
Academics.
Well, we know Berkeley, but
we're hanging our hat on
I
that.
know Berkeley. We get it. You're smart.
It's true, and it's why
I think you just wait out for Jason Kidd when he gets fired from Dallas and he has no job. You swoop in and you say, "Jay Kidd, come salvage your career."
Lifetime contract. But this is what's frustrating with Cal. UCLA is bouncing for the Big Ten, and then Cal is suddenly like, well, wait a second, what about us? So what do you mean, what about you? Your football team's dog shit. Your basketball team's worse. You very openly do not care about any of this, which is fine. It's your prerogative.
Yeah.
Go join the Ivy League. We're trying to win big boy games here.
Yeah.
We're not. What are we doing?
I think I got an idea. Hire Matthew McConaughey.
Should we be consultants for Cal? Cal, reach out to us, man. We'll save your program.
I have
ideas. Save the program.
I have ideas. All of our games are on Pac-12 Network.
Yeah,
no one can
watch. No, I mean, in all seriousness, this is the double-sided coin of the Pac-12 disrespect. Is that when Pac-12 teams are good, they all the Pac-12 fans are yelling as loud as they can, like, pay attention to us. How come we get no respect when UCLA or Arizona or USC will have a good team? Oregon's had good teams through the years. How come we get no respect? It's because the East Coast bias. Now, the flip side of that, Tate, is a situation like this where you can be absolute garbage and you can do it in anonymity. No one's going to even know that Cal is 0-8. And Mark Fox, I don't even know if Cal's administration knows that Mark Fox is 0-8.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty of the Pac-12. So it's a double-edged sword here.
It's good to live in anonymity, but at the same time, Cal's too good of a basketball brand. Like Cal basketball,
bring Mark Montgomery back?
I'm just saying, like, there's been some moments in Cal basketball history where you're like, oh, Cal. Like, they're interesting. They're fun. I mean, freaking Jason Kidd played there, But they have nothing. They have nothing to hang their hat on. Jaylen Brown, that's a whole different conversation, but you don't want to hang your hat there. That's like a Kyrie Irving, a Duke kind of situation. You can't hang your hat there, so...
Did I say Mark Montgomery, by the way? I think I did. I meant Mike Montgomery.
Well, you had Mark Fox on your mind.
Yeah, that's what I yeah.
Too many
bring back Mike Montgomery is what I meant to say. Who coached at Stanford, by the way? Pulled the Pitino.
Yeah.
People forget that.
Which is
the
also a
Pitino
problem.
Of coaching
if you're Cal Berkeley, you should freaking be going at Stanford's neck. You shouldn't let Stanford get 5 stars and you don't get 5 stars.
Yeah.
You should be in the same game.
Facts.
And your Jordan brand. Like, come on.
Facts.
Come on.
They got to get rid of the Jordan brand, dude. They're not worthy of the Jordan brand.
I mean, Michael Jordan obviously was just trying to get some nerds on his side. I respect that.
At number 4 on the fraud power rankings, Big East coaches, all of them. Jay Wright leaves the conference, and suddenly all of these coaches don't know ball, Tate. And what do I mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. Marquette, the Marquette Golden Eagles, picked to finish 9th in the Big East preseason poll. Tyler Kolek says, 2-word quote to that, fuck 'em. That's the quote that he went with in the preseason at the media days when he was asked about this. Said, fuck 'em. To all the coaches, to every single one of them. And as it turns out, Tyler Kolek might have been onto something because Marquette, as we saw against Baylor, is very, very good. And the press that, and Marquette against Purdue. Marquette gave Purdue a pretty good game in Nike Arena, by the way. It feels like Havoc is back. It feels like Shaka has the Havoc back. It's early. I'm not trying to get too excited.
Yeah.
But the fact that Marquette was picked to finish 9th in the Big East in the preseason, and they beat Baylor by 26, sixth ranked Baylor by 26 points, wasn't even like it was the definition of a boat race game. Like they jumped out to an early lead, a huge early lead, and
it was over.
And
they outclassed Baylor at Baylor's own game, which is like being physical, being aggressive, and they just outdid Baylor. And so much so that they almost neutered Baylor. Baylor was like looking over there, like, what is happening? Scott Drew was, I had 2 people text me, is Scott Drew a good coach? Like they brought that back out. And granted, we know he is. He is.
No, he is, because he won an NCAA title. But it was in the bubble.
I know. But at the same time, it was a bubble Mickey Mouse Championship.
Exactly. Dude, is he
so
good?
A lot of people were bringing this up. So I just wanted to point that out.
I'm
watching Shaka Smart, and I'm saying, I don't know, but that looks like a good coach.
Yeah, Marquette loses Morcell and Justin Lewis. And I'm not going to say I agreed with the Big East coaches. I would have abstained because like Marquette wasn't picked to finish very high last year, and they had a pretty good team, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm not going to pretend like I saw this coming from Marquette, that they were going to beat Baylor by 26. Kolek has been incredible. He's second in the country in assists, I think.
At 8
points.
On
he
that
had 11
answer,
assists against Baylor.
I was going to say, based on that answer, though, for Media Day, he was on to something. He knew what he had going.
Cam Jones was great for them. He's been really him and Prosper have stepped up big for Marquette in the absence of Lewis and Morcell. And I don't know. It's a cool story because it's guys that were on the team already, and then you turn to them and you're like, we need you to step up if we're going to be good. And they both said, okay,
I can do that.
We can do that.
And let's be honest, Shaka, we've been trying to find the right identity or the right school for Shaka since he was at VCU. And a lot of people thought that it could be maybe a Georgetown, or it could be maybe even a North Carolina at one point back in the day. But right. Shaka Smart at Marquette, it's a match made in heaven, I think.
Yeah.
I think that they fit.
I still think Baylor's going to be very good, but they are definitively a finesse team right now.
Yes.
And that's not how Baylor's going to win games, especially in the Big 12. They got to figure that out.
Baylor will be fine. There's always the one head-scratching Baylor loss or Baylor game in general that you're like, what happened here? Like the Iowa State game when they won the championship. You're like, but it was coming off COVID. Like there's always some sort of reasoning behind it, but congrats to Shaka.
Yeah, Baylor's defense is a mess, and they turned it over 18 times in this game.
Yeah.
But the story with Baylor's defensively, they're just like all over the place. Marquette was getting the easiest looks all game, and I don't know. I believe in Baylor's offense. I think that was an anomaly that they're throwing the ball all over the gym. I don't think that's going to be a problem moving forward. But they got to lock in defensively. They need a Davion Mitchell, a Mark Vidal type. I don't know who that is on this team.
Well, I think the defense of Marquette was at such an intense level that they couldn't match it, and then they just kind of they were like, okay, well,
life on the road, dude. First taste of road basketball. They're like, damn, this sucks.
I hate this.
I hate the road. Number 3 fraud power rankings this week. the flop call, and I'm talking about the motion of I'm trying to describe it for the listeners. You turn your palms up.
Yeah,
and then you just kind of do like bicep curls, more or less.
But like you're not even like, but they kind of just flail. They kind of just flail out. Yeah, you're like a noodle arm.
So this flop call has been around for a few years in college basketball, but this year was the first year that it's an automatic tech. In the past, it's been a warning. It's been, like, don't do that. And then Brad Davison does it again. They're like, Brad, I'm telling you for the last time, don't do it. And then he does it again, and they're like, damn it, Brad. You can't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
And then, like, if he keeps doing it, maybe we'll call it tech and give the other team free. This year, to start the season, they were calling it like left and right. They're like, this is a point of emphasis. As we know, with points of emphasis in college basketball officiating, out of the gate, they call it like crazy. As the season wears on,
there's less emphasis.
There's less emphasis, and they let it go. And what I just want to say, like, this motion, I think, is why we're losing the emphasis. I think refs don't want to call this motion. It goes back to what I say about charges, that everybody loves. All the refs love calling charges because they get to look awesome, and they get to like flex as they're punching the air.
It's a strikeout call.
It's their strikeout call. And I think the flop, like, I want to get the flop. I first of all, the idea of a flop, the first instance of flopping is an automatic tech, and you get free throws. I've seen people say they don't like it. That's too strict of a penalty for a team that's flopping. I like to err on the side of that versus erring on the. I like it better than last year. I'll say, like, I don't think it's perfect, but I like it. I would rather be too strict with flopping than too lenient, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
I would rather, So
and this wasn't,
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, and this wasn't really a thing or an issue until Duke made it a popular thing. But go on.
I'm fine with the whole thing. My problem is the call itself has gotten to a point where I don't think refs are going to want to call it, because it is like the worst call ever to like flop your hands like this. The mechanics are just so goofy.
You know what it looks like? If you're carrying a bunch of laundry and then you throw it on your bed.
That's a good point.
Like, what should it be? What would you?
Well, that's what I think. I think we go suck it. I think
suck it's good.
If refs got to call flops,
because you're telling the guy who flopped, is like, dude, you suck. Like,
the block charge is already kind of in the family, in the suck it family. You're hitting the hips, And I think if you cross it and go with the X suck it, that version of the suck it, because you're saying don't do that with the X. X. I X out that behavior.
Don't do that behavior.
That's funny.
I think that's good.
The other idea I had, you just go full stone cold and just get down on the ground. Like, the guy flops to the ground. You stand over him and you start like barking at him as you're flipping him off with your fingers.
Yeah, that'd be good.
It's good.
If you're a ref, you're calling that. You see a guy flop and you're just like, you motherfucker.
Also, you're bringing in wrestling fans, because like there's just a lot of theatricality behind it that you have to respect. I mean, these refs, they want to be on TV, right?
It's bad for the game when a guy flops and the whole bench stands up and starts going like this, like they're like fanning like they're hot and they need to fan themselves or something. It's like, this looks terrible.
Yeah.
What about you had mentioned the flexing with like the charge, like the crybaby. You do the crybaby thing with the eyes, but you could flex. Everybody on the bench would be flexing and doing the crybaby. Like,
I just think, you do something that's super humiliating to the guy who flopped. The ref enjoys doing it, so he's going to call it more. Everybody wins, except, I guess, I don't know, the people that don't like this flop rule that gives free throws for free. But
what about everybody just points at the person?
Yeah, just point and laugh. Like
holding.
That's good too. It has to humiliate.
We got to
do
something about the hand motion.
Because like when a ref does that, it's humiliating to the ref. You know what I mean?
That's what he's never going to call it. Yeah, he's not going to call it. He's calling it right now to save his ass. But like, I'm already noticing. There's a flop instance tonight. I think it was Creighton flopped, and I look over at Texas's bench, and they're just like flopping their hands around
at a Madonna concert.
Like heat flash or whatever. They're going hot flash.
Yes, menopause.
But the refs didn't call it, and early, like the first week of the season, they were calling this left and right, and they're not calling it already. So I don't know. Let's get rid of the motion.
I think suck it is the motion.
Suck it might be the one.
I mean, because you're right, the X too, because you're like, don't do that. I think it has the emphasis. And if you're a ref,
stand over the guy.
If you're a ref and you get to pull that motion, like you want to ref games.
The whole bench.
You want to make that call.
Awesome.
Do it 3 times, like they used to do with the pyrotechnics. Where you go 1, 2, and then wait for the third for like just a half beat, and then boom.
That's when you blow the whistle. I think it'd be great.
The walk-ons, like X-Pac or whatever, just doing the jumping.
Yeah, fans are doing it. Little kids are doing it.
Hell yeah.
And nobody wants to fly.
And then we get rid of the basketball court and we just put a wrestling ring in the middle.
Good.
Oh, no. Is that Mr. K's music?
Wait a second. We've just invented professional wrestling. At number 2, I tried, Tate. I really did. I did not want to do this with the fraud power rankings. I wanted to kick this can down the road as long as I possibly could. And I hate to twist the knife, but with North Carolina being an absolute mess, it's time.
We're not even number 1.
It's time.
What the hell? We're not even number 1 on the list.
I tried as long as I could to
They
give
won't
the
let
Heels,
us be number 1 anywhere. We can't even be number 1 on the fraud power rankings. We should be number 1.
I tried as long as I could to give the Heels time to figure it out, but unfortunately, the fraud power rankings have to now do the inevitable and put Mike Krzyzewski at number 2.
Nice.
Because how in God's name did this man lose to North Carolina twice last year to end the season? How?
Can't coach.
This is
Imagine having the number 1 pick and 3 NBA players and losing to a team that lost to Iowa State, a team that lost to Alabama.
That, but unironically.
No, and a team that lost at Indiana. No, I mean, I'm saying that genuinely. I mean, this is if you call this man your GOAT, then you're a fraud. They should be the people that say this man's the greatest coach of all time should be number 1 on the fraud power rankings.
So, like, one of 3 things. Yeah, I don't know how to remedy it because either Mr. K is not the GOAT, and this is a malpractice. This is malpractice what he did to this Duke team. North Carolina is actually very good, which we're kind of proving right now they're not. Or the third option is that Brady Manick belongs in the league.
Yes.
Brady Manick was a first-round pick, and
which is facts.
So, like, if Brady Manick, if
Jack White is in the NBA and not Brady Manick, that is the most. That if someone wanted to ask me why the NBA is failing, that's literally what I would say. I would put on tape of Jack White and say, these idiots, the dumbest mother effers alive, said this man should be in this league, and this man who's swatting the number 1 pick and wetting J's in their face and saying "bang bang, motherfucker" is not in the league. And you tell me why people don't care about your league. You tell me.
Jack White is the face of Adam Silver's NBA.
Yeah, a bunch of bitches.
No, I guess that's where I landed on this. Is like Brady Manick deserves a spot in the league. Like this is egregious.
Thank you.
It does not compute that this North Carolina team not only beat him twice, Tate. Beat him twice. Beat him in Cameron Indoor Stadium.
People forget. People forget. I know.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
And I guess the second time around, at that point, like Carolina had gone on a little bit of a run. So then when it happens in the Final Four, it's still shocking. It's still a big deal. But it's less of, coaching malpractice. It's less like, it's more of like, damn, Carolina got hot at the right. Like, I guess this proves that Carolina is pretty good, whatever. Carolina, outside of that run, because even the game before playing in Cameron Indoor Stadium, you guys went to overtime at home with Syracuse, with a bad Syracuse team.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like you guys were hot like all of February and March. It was like literally just that game, the final game in Cameron, and then the NCAA tournament run. And then I think maybe ACC tournament. You had one game.
The final 21 games, they were 17-4. But they were uninspiring until the
But it wasn't like you were wiping the floor with everybody.
Exactly.
You finally
they were uninspiring wins until they got to Cameron.
So I guess, like I don't understand how as that loss, both of those losses, as Mike Krzyzewski continues to play out his career, whatever his career is, we're gonna look back and just be like, how did this happen? How did this is officially? It's been a few months. It's already entered 2002 Indiana Duke for me, where I'm just like, how was that possible? How did that even happen?
Yeah, how did that even happen?
How did this man?
If I was Hubert Davis, by the way, I mean, I would use my lifeline. I would make a phone call, and I would call Mike Krzyzewski, and I would say,
ask for help.
You should come to practice.
Whoa.
I'd bring him to, because he doesn't go to Duke practices. He doesn't even like Duke. We all know that. He's an Army grad. So let's bring that Army grad who has no affiliation with the program. Let's bring him over to North Carolina, and let's just plant him in a seat, and let's see if we may need this evil being to drive this team get to that level.
Okay, let's talk through this. If Mr. K gets to put on his whistle again and become Coach K again, but it's helping North Carolina he saves North Carolina's season.
Yeah.
He's not actually I'm not saying he's the head coach, but as you said, he comes to practice, offers some notes, tweaks some
things.
How
they do this? These old coaches, they go to practice and they like just have a field day.
So if it saves North Carolina's season, but then also he's in front of cameras talking about how I did this, and he takes all the credit. And Hubert is also like honestly, we would have been screwed if it wasn't for Mike Krzyzewski coming and saving our program. Is that a trade you make?
Yeah, because it's
but
hilarious.
Then North Carolina's back to being number one.
Well, and then also Mike Krzyzewski at the end of the day chose the right side. You know what I mean? It's not done yet. Like he can still leave this.
There's always a redemption path.
He could Severus Snape. You know what I mean? The whole time you think he's on the dark side, but at the end of the day, he just was misunderstood. Maybe Mr. K was just misunderstood, and he was like, you know what? I actually hate this place. This place sucks. Look at these losers. You think I want to win for them? Absolutely not. So that would be my pitch. Make one phone call and just feel it out.
You've had 24 hours of sleep on it, Carolina.
I mean, there's no
same. You haven't.
I reached
better
out,
or worse. You feeling better or worse about it?
I feel the same.
Yeah.
And the same feeling that I have is I don't know. And I reached out. I mean, I really don't know. I reached out to former players. I'm like, how we feeling? And pretty much everyone's response has been different. And there's like the optimist, there's the pessimist, there's the all these in between, but pretty much the answer that we all come to is we have no idea. And Hubert Davis, he is almost like in a sweet way, he has almost conditioned us to, like, we're acting like an NBA team. Like some of the people are talking to each other and they're like, look, man, it's freaking November. Who cares? Of course we're going to lose these games. It's November. This is what we do. And I'm like, it's not what we do. Like, what?
Do you think GG Jackson being on the team would have helped or hurt? And just added another guy that needed a basketball.
Aesthetically, it would have helped. It would have looked good. Like, I think a lot of times we're going in these games and we think that we're hot, like we're a bunch of superstars when really we're not. And all other teams do have NBA players and they figure it out pretty quickly that we do not. And so if you had a guy like GG on the floor or off the bench, it at least would add a factor of intimidation that I don't think that they have. They have nobody that intimidates the other opponent. We look like the kind of team that when we lose, as I saw Pete Nance, for example, he gets his ass whooped by IU. Trace Jackson Davis dunking all over him.
Yeah.
Tapping his head, saying, you're too small. And then after the game, I see him like dapping him up, laughing, like having the best time. And I'm like, this ain't it, G.
Strike this man.
yeah, this ain't it, G. Like,
strike this man, please.
I mean, or at least have a little bit of, we might be friends, but I'm not trying to say what's up to you after you just embarrassed me.
We'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll text you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll give a little like wave and go. They need something like that. And maybe, I don't think GG has that personality, but they just need some sort of intimidation factor. They have none right now. And I don't know where it comes from because I'm afraid we have a lot of good guys. They're good kids. I love them to death. But, man, win a basketball game.
Number one on the fraud power rankings this week by a country mile. Not even close. A man that we haven't talked about much on the show the last few years, but it's time to have the discussion. Jim Boeheim.
Oh, man.
who enters the ACC Big Ten Challenge with this quote. You can say what you want about the Big Ten. They sucked in the tournament. To me, that's what they did. All of their wins were in their league. If you can't play in the NCAA tournament, then you're no good. That's literally him. His teams do not play in the NCAA tournament anymore. So, like, is it better to lose in the NCAA tournament or to not even make the NCAA tournament? I would argue lose, but Jim Boeheim apparently sees it differently. Then he goes on to get his ass absolutely handed to him by Illinois, loses by 29.
Yeah. And Illinois didn't even play that well.
No.
I mean,
no.
That's the other part of it. Yeah.
Syracuse last year, that was the worst season in Jim Boeheim's career. It's not even my opinion. It's the statistical facts of his record. It was the worst season he's ever had. They had a losing record, I think, for the first time ever under Jim Boeheim. This team is worse. This team is definitely worse than last year. They have zero juice whatsoever. The Orange have no juice. Print that headline. They
let Doug Eddard smack them and then beat them.
They lost to Bryant. They lost to Colgate last year.
Yeah.
They lost to Colgate again this year. They are 3-4 with their wins are Lehigh, Northeastern, and Richmond in overtime. That's it.
Bad loss for Richmond.
This will be the 9th year in a row without a top 5 seed in the NCAA tournament for Syracuse. They never, before this streak started, they never under Jim Boeheim had a longer streak than 3 years going without a top 5 seed. Does that make sense, or is that too big to start the day for you?
No, that makes sense.
This will be the 9th year in a row that they are like, because the saving grace for Syracuse is we had an 11 seed that one time, we had a 10 seed that one time, and went to the Final Four. We went to that one Sweet 16. The 11 seed, I think, was a Sweet 16, right? And then they go to the Sweet 16 as an 11. They played in the play-in game, wasn't it?
I think so.
Did they have to win 3?
Yeah.
And then they went to that's what Boeheim has that quote where it's like, we're great in the tournament. Bitch, you're not great in the tournament. You suck in the tournament. You don't even make the tournament. You make the tournament once every so often. You go to the Final Four. The Big Ten goes to the Final Four. That's not the issue. What the issue the Big Ten has, we don't win national titles. You don't win national titles either, bitch. You've won one in 400 years. And it was because of Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
I'm over Jim Boeheim. I've had enough. Jim Boeheim and I used to have, he didn't know this, but he and I used to have like a symbiotic thing because
he has won a more recent national championship. That's the only thing he has.
Hold on. Is that true?
Well, Maryland's 02. He's 03.
But Kansas. We have last year. Big Ten's taking Kansas, dude. We're getting Kansas. We're getting Kansas. Throw Kansas. Throw Kansas. I remember reading Jim Boeheim's autobiography, and it resonated with me because a lot of the things he talked, a lot of his insecurities, a lot of his approach to basketball, like, I don't know, I was like reading, I was like, this feels like me. Like, this feels like, like he goes to Syracuse, Dave Bing's his teammate. He's the famous guy, the face of he could run for mayor in Syracuse. Then Jim Boeheim has to carve out his career, underneath the shadow of this legendary Syracuse player. And I'm like, oh my God, that's me with Greg Oden. So I'm reading this, like finding all these parallels. And he's like a sarcastic asshole. And I'm like, that's me. And I've been a Boeheim fan for a very long time. But this man is 78 years old. His sons were on the team last year. They're no longer on the team. I don't understand why he's still coaching. It's like, I'll say this in the interest of fairness to Mike Krzyzewski, I'll say the same thing to Jim Boeheim. You cannot seriously wake up every morning, look yourself in the mirror, and say, I am the best option for Syracuse basketball, so I'm going to continue to do this job. You're wrong. You're not. You're not. So the only reason you're still coaching is some vain, like, are you trying to catch Coach K? Are you trying to, like, what is it that you're doing?
Trying to catch Coach K.
I want out. I'm not even a Syracuse fan, and I want out. And Jim Boeheim, fraudulent #1. He might be #1 the whole season. I might just put him, just lock it in at #1 the rest of the season until he retires.
He should have retired when Buddy left. I mean, Buddy was all he had, but he loved Buddy. He wanted Buddy to make the tournament. He wanted Buddy to make a run. It didn't work out that way. And I think he's now kind of just like taking it out on the program. He's just hanging around. But I did hear, as I reported on the show, this is his last year.
Really?
That's what I've heard.
It's got to be. I mean, like, what other...
I heard he had already told them that this was going to be his last year, but he expected Buddy to be back this year. But Buddy was too good and had to go to the NBA and play in the G League for the Pistons. So that is what I think where we're at. But you're right. I mean, that quote, even when he said it, I was like, Jim Boeheim, you do not speak for us.
Yeah.
This is the same man who hates the ACC, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's
like he doesn't even like the conference that he's like trying to speak up for.
There's no hope for the future in that the recruiting at Syracuse has completely fallen off since Mike Hopkins went to Washington. Everyone is just looking around. Every single fan in Syracuse is just looking around like, are we serious with this guy? Like, is he really going to continue to wake up? Damn it, he did it. He put the whistle around his neck again today.
Oh no.
All right, I guess one more day. I guess we all got to believe that this man he's our guy. He did kind of build the program. So like it is very uncomfortable to watch Syracuse basketball right now because this man should have retired like 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Syracuse is a legit program. So at this point, you just don't want to fall too far.
Benefit of the doubt, he was planning on retiring last year. And then Kay announced his farewell tour.
And he was like, I'll wait a year.
And he's
I don't want to take his thunder.
I got to stand down.
I want my own show.
Yeah. I'm going to stand down.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. But if he doesn't retire, this year, I will join Syracuse fans with my pitchfork and torch. And
the only thing,
I don't know where we're going, but let's go there.
I think the only thing if he planted and incepted the idea of Kay retiring, I will give him credit for that. Like if they were at dinner in February of last year, and Boeheim was like, it'll be my last year next year, and Kay was like, actually, it's gonna be my
1, 2, 3 jump.
Jump. Yes, that's the only way I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But I like that #1.
Yeah, dude, I'm fired up about Boeheim.
Well, this is the last time he'll be #1, probably, like in his career.
Ever.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. I think that's it. That's the fraud power rankings.
I feel good.
That's a pretty good show.
Yeah, I feel like I learned a lot.
Any shout outs before we get out of here?
Shout out to the North Carolina Tar Heels this weekend in football. in the ACC championship game. They have not won an ACC championship since 1980. I was not born when they won the ACC championship back then. So Drake May plays Clemson this weekend. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. Got friends and family that will be in the building. I will not be there, but I will be watching. And also U.S. plays the Netherlands, 7 a.m. Pacific. Yeah. Let's go USA.
Shout out to Pulisic's balls. He said it wasn't his balls, though, right?
Yeah, it wasn't his balls. It was his pelvic, man.
It was his okay.
Whatever that means. But also, he did. I love that they asked him. Someone asked him, like, if, about his big moment as an American, like basically trying to act like that was the one big moment.
That was it.
And he was like, my big moment hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
That's baller.
I like that answer.
That's baller.
So let's do it.
We're beating the Netherlands, by the way.
I mean, Virgil van Dijk is scary, obviously, because he's.
I've never heard of him. So, I mean, I've never heard of the guy.
But I like our youth, and I like the fact that we believe, and that's fun.
Do you think Virgil van Dijk could score on this Texas defense? I don't think so. I don't think he's scoring in the Moody Center.
I don't think so.
What do we have to be afraid of?
Yeah, you're right. No. You're right.
The only Netherlands guy that scares me, Robin van Persie never scared me.
Wesley Sneijder.
Wesley Sneijder never scared me. Robin scared me because Robin was just like a freight train.
Yeah.
Coming up the right wing and then cutting into left. He had one move. He only goes left. He's the Hunter Dickinson of soccer.
Yeah. But damn if it didn't work. Damn if it didn't work.
And even when you're stopping him and you're making him go right, he just like bowls you over to go left. And he's not on the team anymore. So we're fine.
I bet on the Netherlands to win the World Cup. So if they do win,
are you serious?
Yeah, I'm riding high.
Dude, how much you bet on America?
None.
Oh my God!
But I only bet $50 on the Netherlands. I didn't care.
All right.
I didn't care.
Shout out to Notre Dame Fighting Irish smacking Michigan State. This Notre Dame team, folks, if you're not paying any attention, they play 6 guys. They played literally 6 guys.
Six graduates.
They have a 6-man rotation. Yeah, four of the 6 are 5th-year seniors. Cormac Ryan, Nate Laszewski, Trey Wirtz, and Dane Goodwin. Who are names you might remember.
Yes.
Through
if you watch Notre Dame for the past 2 or 3 years, you know all of them. They're going to kill Carolina. Like as I watch, I was like, this team is a bad matchup.
They literally have 6 guys who average more than 2 minutes per game this year.
Nice.
That's the cutoff. It's 2 minutes per game. They only have 6 guys that play
just win, baby.
They last game against St. Bonaventure, they lost. They go 2 for 17 from 3. Michigan State, they go 11 for 26. They are a make shots team.
They will make shots against Carolina.
Yeah. Michigan State, I don't know how I fit. Malik Hall's out. I think they're fine. I think
that Izzo already got his quality wins. I think he's like all of this.
He got what he.
The resume built. He's done. He's already packed up shop.
Check back in late January.
Exactly.
I say.
Yeah. He's like, I'll see you guys then.
But I've decided I've seen enough that Malik Hall has to be the guy. Like that's the mystery of Michigan State is who's going to be the guy for them. Tyson Walker has the talent. He doesn't have the drive. I don't think he wants to be the guy. I think Hogard wants to be the guy, but Hogard can't shoot. So if I'm Tom Izzo, I'm like, please don't try to be the guy.
Yeah.
Please don't. Just pass the ball, AJ. Hauser is a glue guy who
not the guy
at his core. He's like, I want to be. He's kind of like what Pete Nance is to North Carolina. He's like, I came here to just kind of like be the glue guy, and now you guys are turning to me and you want me to be an X factor.
And I can't be that man.
I'm not. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Like I'll just knock down open shots and get some rebound. Like I'm not trying to do, but he's got to step up, and that's why I think Malik Hall. I think Malik Hall is an X factor who now has to be the go-to guy for Michigan State.
I like
that's my analysis.
I like Malik Hall,
but he's out right now, so they'll be fine.
Manufactured adversity.
Shout out Virginia beating Michigan. I decided it was gutsy win. It was a win that Michigan can't shoot, but they were hitting everything against Virginia, as you do against the pack line defense. Just every so often, people rain threes on Virginia. That was happening. But Virginia is Kia Clark is someone who I think we are very much taking for granted, because I think like in my mind, if you mention Kia Clark, I just instinctively laugh because he's been around for so long.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that guy's still there. And he's kind of, not to disparage him, but you're just kind of like, he was the guy that was also on the court as Virginia won the national title. He was just kind of along for the ride.
And let's be honest, Beekman is kind of taking over the ball at times, like in critical possessions, like Kihei's off the ball now, so that he can be forgotten, but just because of that.
But he's very good.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's still very good.
And I kind of like him as I like having him off the ball with Beekman on the ball at times, and in critical possessions.
Beekman's very good. This Virginia team.
Beekman looks
Vanderplas had a moment like a stretch where he scored like it felt like 10 straight. I don't
and
know
they
how much
told the whole
was,
story about him and Tony playing together. It was beautiful. And Beekman looks like the ACC Player of the Year. If I were to give my preseason ACC Player of the Year, based on what I've seen so far, my top 2 candidates: Justin Mutz at Virginia Tech and Reese Beekman at Virginia.
All right, I won't argue that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Michigan is. I don't know. I'm scared to.
Let's be honest. That Hunter Dickinson cylinder rule thing was ridiculous. I mean, that whole thing was insane. I mean, look, he did what he had to do. Big guys have to clear out space, but Hunter Dickinson, you're giving Bill Laimbeer vibes, right?
He loves it though. That's what he's trying to be, you know.
Yeah, but it's it's in Michigan.
Dickinson is great, but every time I've watched Michigan this year, I just don't know. I don't know who's going to create for them.
It's supposed to be his son.
It's supposed to be Jet, but is a coach's son who's a freshman the guy you want
that has the longest leash I've ever seen?
Yeah. Do you want to run your offense? Like how, when we look back through the history of college basketball, coaches' sons running the offense, how often does that really work?
The one time that I can think of is Bryce Alford airballing a shot that they called a goaltend. That's the one time it worked. Right? Wasn't that against SMU?
Yeah.
That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Saul Smith played for his dad, but when they won the title, he was not running point. He was just like, you know, he was his freshman year, I think.
Yeah.
But I think they won the SEC when he was a senior and he was playing well. Jerry McNamara for Jim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that it?
That's
the fear I would have with I'm getting Allen Houston vibes with Jet Howard, and where like dad's gonna be the coach and let him like some Bryce Alford vibes, some Pete Maravich vibes. I'm just like,
you do whatever you want.
You do whatever you want, son.
Yeah.
This is your domain, which is, you know, might get him drafted, might get his son drafted, but I don't.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, like if my kid was out there in a 5-star and trying to get drafted, I might let him cook too.
Can knock the hustle.
Yeah, passing the ball.
Yeah.
Trying to make some more money in this family.
Shout out to Butler. I got my Butler stuff like on tonight. Yeah, I'm Butler with the big win over Kansas State. Biggest win in the Mata Diebler.
Big for the Big East.
Yeah, that's right.
Conference pride.
Yeah, apologies to Coach Mata for saying Big East coaches don't know ball.
Yeah, he wasn't at the top.
He didn't vote. Yeah, that was probably Diebler voted on that. I bet.
Yeah,
I bet he let Diebler vote.
Probably
in that thing. Yeah. Uri Collins had 20 assists against Tennessee State on Wednesday. He's averaging 11.6 assists per game. And St. Louis is playing good basketball. So shout out to Uri Collins for 20 assists in a game, Tate. That's Caleb Love for Uri Collins. Who says no?
I was gonna if things continue to trend this way, I want to do a segment called Blue Blood Trades, where we fix the Blue Bloods by trading players within the Blue Bloods, because I think that might be something we need to do.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah. I would like that.
Yeah.
Let's figure out. We need to see a little more from the
Let's figure out best settings for these players, because it might not be where they are currently.
The way the NCAA works right now, if we propose that trades should be allowed, I really feel like within a week they might approve it. I think they might just be like, great idea. Go ahead. Do it. Who cares?
Umar Ballo for Armando Bacot.
What's the Arizona score, by the way?
Oh yeah, good call.
We gotta look that up.
I hope Arizona came back to make it respectable.
Arizona's down 11 with 149, dude.
That's respectable.
Okay, redo the fraud power rankings. Arizona #1. Bump everyone else down. Honestly, Maui people, turn this off. We love Maui. #1 might be Maui. Is #1 Maui?
No.
#1's the plane ride back from Maui.
Yeah.
#1 is.
Yeah.
#1's not Maui.
Number 1 is the mainland.
#1's the mainland. That's what it is. Every game should be in Maui.
Yeah.
If
we played everything in Maui, then we'd have a better season of college basketball.
That's what it is. We speak your name real quick. Rapid fire. Missouri's 8-0. Tate. Their fans are fired up. OT win at Wichita State on Tuesday. They got Kansas coming up.
You don't see Missouri like peddling out Brad Pitt saying, Brad Pitt, make us a new arena.
No. But they got the Kansas, Missouri, the border war's back. And they play December 10th at home against Kansas.
It's a good game.
So have that on your radar. Missouri
will be fired up for that.
They will be fired up for that game. Especially with like all they'll be fired up.
Yeah, that actually, like for the signs and the chants and things, like that's something to tune in
that
for.
If I could pick one game where the most number of people will be kicked out, it's Missouri. It's when Kansas comes to Missouri.
Yeah,
that would be the most like I'm talking fans, like the security guards. Like you can't. You threw a full water bottle, a full beer at Bill Self's head. You can't have that. You got to go.
I think number 2 is Kentucky at Arkansas this year. I think Arkansas fans are because they're going to win that game and they're going to be going crazy. Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Auburn Bama's turning into like
Auburn
Bama game.
The jungle's a jungle for a reason.
That's turning into like a duck game. Like if you're going there and you're sitting close to the court, there's always be ducking. Speaking of the SEC, Mississippi State 7-0. I tried to warn everyone about Chris Jans. They didn't want to listen, Tate. That defense is absolutely locked in. Tolu Smith's looking like a dark horse. I don't know. We'll say all SEC. I don't want to say all American. That's too much pressure on the kid. Yeah. But he's playing well. Mississippi State's rolling. They're undefeated. And Jim Cunningham, St. John's. What are they? The Johnnies now? I almost
Red Storm.
I almost used the wrong one. 8-0. How about that? Oh, yeah. Joel Soriano.
And
absolute beast.
Curbelo looks comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're a fun team.
Yeah,
styling.
They're a fun team. Second fastest team in America behind Arizona.
Yeah.
They were the fastest team last year. So there's that. They're at Iowa State on Sunday too. So we'll get to see St. John's.
I mean, Iowa State, really good team. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. So that'll be a great test. Other than that, my only shout outs, USC football plays on Friday. You guys are doing great. You're definitely going to win. And congrats on the Heisman. Congrats on the playoff spot. We're all fired up for you here in Los Angeles. So I just want to extend a congratulatory, well done, gentlemen. In Lincoln Riley's first year. Congratulations on the Pac-12 championship and the college football playoff spot that you took from Ohio State, but deservedly so, because you guys look great against Utah in the second game. So I want to preemptively say congrats on a well played game. So that's it. Any shout outs, Jim?
Just one. I'll make it quick because it's important. Myself, I looked up the George Lopez names of his shows and characters he plays.
Please.
There's George Lopez, where George Lopez plays a factory worker named George Lopez.
Fair.
Then there's Lopez Tonight, where, that's his talk show. Then there's St. George, where George Lopez plays a recently divorced working class man named George Lopez.
The range on this guy.
Yeah. And then there's Lopez, where George Lopez plays a comedian named George Lopez.
Dude.
And now the last one, George Lopez plays a working class, partially estranged father named George Lopez, renovating his partially estranged daughter's kitchen in Lopez vs. Lopez.
Honestly,
it's real.
I mean, give this man,
and it's on Peacock.
Give this man the Mark Twain Award, because that is comedy. Like that is the greatest bit of all time.
Give me the Edward R. Murrow Award.
I mean, are you kidding
journalism.
Me?
Yeah, that's good research there.
Good job, Jim.
Good job.
Man, George Lopez.
Speaking of like naming things, did you see this movie Cocaine Bear that's coming out?
Yeah.
Shout out to that movie, because I saw, I don't know what the movie, I know what the movie's about, but I don't know what the movie's about. I know nothing about it other than the poster and the title. And I got fired up, and I thought, this is something we need more of in Hollywood. Like all this other, the Hollywood bull. Get it out of my face. We need more Sharknado. We need more Cocaine Bear. We need more Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I just love movies where it's just like straight to the point. You know what you're going to get. I don't need to see a trailer. I don't need to know anything about this movie.
Yeah.
You say Cocaine Bear, I'm in. I can't wait to see this movie. I know nothing about it other than the title.
And one of our friends of the program.
True story. What?
It is a true story.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Now I'm even more excited.
Yeah, exactly.
Same with the Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
What were you saying with the Abe Lincoln?
No, I mean Tommy Alter's cousin Jimmy, who's been very kind. He is the producer. This is his movie, Cocaine Bear.
Are you serious?
Yes, Tommy Alter.
Can we go to the premiere?
I don't know. Maybe
we gotta hit up Tommy.
Yeah,
I gotta be.
Yeah, this is the time.
This is finally an opportunity for me to go to a premiere I want to go to. It's a movie called Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I mean, I thought it was The Revenant.
February
I thought I already
24th.
saw that movie, but I'm excited for this one.
February 24th.
Done. Put it in the calendar.
That's my brother's birthday. I'll go.
All right. I think that's it. Apologies to Utah fans for your big upset that we didn't really talk about. To be completely honest, did not see that coming.
Same.
But Arizona, we're going to crunch the tape. We'll do better next week and figure out what the hell went wrong. Mountain trip for Arizona. Those are always tough in the
really
Pac-12.
tough. Yeah.
Always tough to get up there in altitude. But UCLA just tipped off against Stanford too. So if that goes horribly wrong,
you know where to find us.
You know where to find us.
We'll be back on Monday.
We'll be back here Monday talking about it. See you guys. Enjoy the weekend. Congratulations, USC football, once again on winning the Pac-12 and definitely not losing.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.